Hey guys, this is Neil. Welcome back to more ASL rules that may fall through the cracks while you're playing a game. Numero 11. It is the movement phase, and this German unit decides to move into that hex for 3 movement factors. That German unit is subject to first fire non-assault movement. This American unit fires on it and ends up getting a pin result. At that point, the German unit is no longer considered to be moving, so non-assault movement would not apply. Let's say this American unit decides to first fire on it as well. And the end result is the unit gets a morale check and it breaks. The pin counter is removed, but that also means the unit is also considered to be non-assault moving. So if this American unit decided to subsequent first fire on it, the non-assault moving penalty would now apply again. Same with this unit. If it decided to subsequent first fire because it expended 3, the non-assault movement penalty would also apply again now that the broken unit is no longer pinned. Number 12, snapshots using machine guns. Let's say this Russian unit here had previously first fired their medium machine gun within a building, and they locked their covered arc in this direction, which is not a starter kit rule, so this is full ASL only. This German unit decides to move into this building here. The Russian unit normally might have been able to do a snapshot along this hex side with the machine gun, but since they first fired it from a building and they locked in its covered arc over here, they are not able to use it on a snapshot as that German unit moved. Number 13. This is one that is in the rules but may be overlooked a lot. A lot of the white information counters are color-coded to the turn in which they are removed, or in some cases flipped over to the other side. So blue is rally phase, beginning of the turn. Prep fire is end of the turn. Red, green is end of the movement phase. Purple is end of defensive fire phase, and brighter red is the end of the player turn or the end of the close combat phase. So things like desperation, morale, and shock, removed rally. Prep fire, removed end of prep fire phase. Infantry smoke and residual fire, removed end of the movement phase. Various defensive fire counters removed at the end of the defensive fire phase. And red status removed at the end of the close combat phase. Number 14. This one can be frustrating depending on which side of the dice you're on. Let's say we have these 2 Russian groups and they fire group on this German and they roll a 6. The interesting thing about this is when a support weapon malfunctions, you roll for random selection. When you get rate of fire, everything gets rate of fire. So in this case, both machine guns would get rate of fire, and I'd be able to fire them again if I so chose. But if I happen to roll a 12, you would roll random selection to see which one of those breaks down. Now, if you're on the German side of this, you don't like this. You don't want both guns to get rate of fire every time, and then when they potentially break down, you don't want the Russians having to roll to see which one breaks down instead of both of them breaking down. So it's an interesting mechanic that sort of contradicts itself. I don't know why it's this way, but just remember, rate of fire, everything gets rate of fire. Breakdown, you roll for random selection. Number 15, did you know that a KIA result can destroy support weapons? So let's say, again, we have this situation where we have this German fire group. There's 8 firepower in there, and they're going to fire at these Russians in the woods. And I happen to roll Snake Eyes. It's directed by a leader, therefore there's no cowering. So it's going to be a 8 firepower, +1 for the woods, -1 for the leader. So it's going to be 8 firepower with a 2. That is a KIA result, 1 KIA. So what you do, squad is eliminated. And to determine if the support weapon is destroyed, you roll 1 die on the same firepower column. Now, if we look at the 8 firepower column, we see a 1 or a 2 is a KIA result, and a 3 is a K2 result. If we get another KIA result, rolling 1 die, the machine gun is destroyed. If we get a casualty reduction result, a K3, if we rolled a 3, then the support weapon would be malfunction. Let's roll and see what we get. 1. It would be destroyed. If I rolled a 3, it would be malfunctioned instead. So yes, getting a KIA result with small arms infantry fire on a target could potentially destroy support weapons therein.